Okay. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be doing fundamental analysis of these two popular gold financing companies, which goes by the name Muthoot Finance and Manappuram Finance Limited. So, what we will be going in today's episode is first we will do a business analysis. We will have a look on how the business is and what all things happens in this business. Then we will do a comparative analysis between these two companies. We will go through their we will go through the companies. We will see their presence. We will see their subsidiaries. We will go through their revenue mix and we will go through their loan books. Now, thirdly, we will see they will go through their financial performance. We will see their track record, how well the companies have performed in last 5 to 10 years. We will see all those things. And in fourth, we will do a stock valuation. Stock valuation in the sense we will check their P ratios, book values, and we will try to evaluate which one is cheaper or which one is costlier. Fifthly, we will go through the shareholding pattern. Sixth, we will go through the future. We will see what are the future growth and what are the concerns in these companies. And sixth, and at the end, I'll share my personal opinion about these companies. So, which one is good and whether we need to invest in such kind of gold financing companies or not. So, I'll be sharing my personal opinion at the end. So, having said that, let's move to the first slide. Uh, okay, starting with the business overview. Gold financing business is a kind of gold financing NBFCs are also a kind of NBFCs where the collateral is always gold, majorly gold. So what that means is uh, the security which is taken when issuing the loan is gold. So this is the business of this gold financing company. Now coming to the second main thing to note is the LTV factor. LTV is nothing but loan to value. Loan to value tells us how much amount of loan, how much amount of loan is given on the worth of collateral which has been kept with the bank. So what this basically means is, let's say suppose I am going and keeping gold which is worth of 1 lakh rupee with the bank as a collateral. So I'll be getting around 70 to 75% of my collateral value. This 70 to 75% is the LTV, that is loan to value. Presently, the loan to value rate in the market which is going on is 70 to 75%, but it varies time to time depending on the economic scenarios or depending on the situations in the countries happening. So right now it is 70 to 75. Last year during the pandemic it was ranging between 65 to 70. So this is the LTV. Third thing here is the interest rate. Currently, the interest charged in these two companies, that is Manappuram and Muthoot, it is somewhere ranging between 12 to 25%. So they are charging an interest which is somewhere between 12 to 25%. So you can understand that they are uh, they are into a business where they can uh, uh, what charge more interest, and they are able to work on this uh, kind of a what business pattern, because if we see banks charge very little when compared to this gold financing companies, but they are they are kind of a traditional business. They are traditionally run business, and people even trust them even if they are charging around 25% of interest rates. Now, the fourth one is the business dependency on gold price. Now, uh, we saw that the business is highly dependent on the gold, because gold is always kept as a collateral. Now, what happens here is this kind of business also get very much dependent on the gold prices which are currently running in the market. Now, why is that so? This is because, now let's say today the worth of 10 gram of gold is 50,000. So I go and keep my 10 gram of gold which is worth of 50,000, and I get a loan around let's say I am getting a loan of 40,000. The LTV is around 78 or 80%, so I'm getting around 40,000 on my 50,000 worth of gold which is kept as collateral. Now, after 2 to 3 months, suppose if the loan value itself if the gold prices itself what crashes, comes down to 35,000. It is possible, guys, because last year we saw that the gold prices went high to 57,000. Now they are again back to 47 or 48. They're somewhere around this range. Now let's say that gold which is priced today 50,000 goes to 35,000 in next 3 months. So what happens here is the asset which is kept, the collateral which is kept here, that is gold, gets depreciated. The value of the gold gets depreciated. So in this kind of situation, it is always what people who have taken loan can easily skip away with their repayments, because the value of the gold which they have kept itself is lesser than the amount of a loan which they have got. So it is always benefiting for the customers. So in this kind of situation, the company or the business become little bit riskier, and it will make what difficult for banks in this kind of situation. So this is one of the main risk in such kind of business, where it is very highly dependent on a commodity price. Commodity here is nothing but gold metal. Now fifth is, this business is mainly working in southern part of India. If we go through their demographics, if we see their presence, we see that gold these the company's branches are mainly in south, and they are very less found in north or east and west. The only reason here is people in south tend to bring tend to invest more in gold when compared to other parts of country. Kerala is the state which is the largest investor in gold. Second comes Tamil Nadu. So it can be said that south people invest more in gold. So these gold financing companies are much favorable to set up it is much convenient for these gold financing companies to set up in the places where people invest more in gold, because they would be getting this kind of business can easily be running in such kind of parts. But if we think of expansion, it becomes what difficult for companies to grow outside the southern states, because this kind of business get very much oriented to a particular part of the country. So it becomes very much difficult for such kind of business to grow in other parts of country. So this is again a second risk here. And the last thing to understand is, currently in India, the two players NBFCs which are majorly in gold is Muthoot and Manappuram. So these are the largest player in gold financing. And also third is a Federal Bank. It is a bank, it is not an NBFC, but it is also a major player in gold financing. So these three are the major players in gold financing right now. Now let's start with the company's overview. Muthoot was incorporated in 1995. Manappuram was incorporated in 1992. Both Muthoot and Manappuram are family-run businesses. In the sense, family-managed businesses. Muthoot Finance is managed by George Muthoot family, whereas Manappuram is financed by Nandakumar family. Both of these head offices are in Kerala. Because obviously Kerala being the most favorable state for such kind of businesses, so they both have their head offices in Kerala. If we talk about branches right now, Muthoot is having around 5,445 branches, and Manappuram is having around 4,600 branches. So this is the company's overview. Now if we see demographic wise, we see that Muthoot Finance, its 60% of branches are present in southern parts of southern states. 7% in east, 16% in west, and 17% in north. Now coming to Manappuram Finance, it's 63% of branches are in south, 10% in east, 10% in west, and 17% in north. So this basically tells us how these businesses are very much concentrated in southern states. So we see that around 60 to 65% of their business or their branches are located in south states. Now coming to revenue mix, if we talk about Muthoot, in Muthoot Finance, 90% of its revenue comes from gold financing, and 10% comes from other kind of businesses. Other kind of businesses here include microfinancing, home financing, vehicle financing. So we can say that in Muthoot, most of its revenue comes from gold financing, and only a portion, that is 10%, comes from 10% comes from other segments. Now, if we talk about Manappuram, in Manappuram 68% comes from gold financing, and remaining 32 comes from other segments. Other segments here include again microfinancing. Microfinancing being again a larger section, larger part of Manappuram Finance, because Manappuram one of the subsidiary, that is Ashirvad Microfinance, is very much involved in what microfinancing, and it is also a large contributor to the revenue. So so all these things comes in other section. If we talk in terms of percentage, 68% is contributed through gold financing. Now basically what is good for us? So I personally believe that going with the gold financing is more what is more safer than going with the other kind of businesses right now. Now whatever situation we are in after the pandemic, still we don't know what all will be happening next, and the economic conditions also don't seem much comfortable right now. So going with the companies which are majorly in microfinancing would be will not be good. So I am giving a positive signal for Muthoot Finance here, because their loans are very much secured, because most of them are in the form of gold. Most of its business, most of its revenue comes from gold financing. So here Muthoot will give a upper hand when compared to Manappuram Finance. Now talking about its subsidiaries, Muthoot has this subsidiaries as I have listed here: Asia Asset Finance PLC, Muthoot Finance, Muthoot Home Finance, sorry, Muthoot Insurance Broker, Bellstar Microfinance, and Muthoot Money. So these are all the subsidiaries of Muthoot. Now coming to Manappuram, as I said, Ashirvad, which is one of the major contributor to the revenue, is a subsidiary of Manappuram Finance. Manappuram Home Finance is again a subsidiary. Manappuram Insurance Broker, Manappuram Comtech and Consultant Limited. So these all are the subsidiaries of the companies. Now talking about AUM, AUM is nothing but asset under management. It is like a loan book. Now Muthoot loan book is around 58,000 crore, and in this 58,000 crore, 52,000 crore is of gold loan book. Now if we talk in terms of weight, Muthoot is currently managing around 171 tons of gold. Now coming to Manappuram, Manappuram total loan book is 29,000 crore, and in this 23,000 crore is gold loan book, and 5,700 crore is of Ashirvad loan book. Ashirvad in the sense microfinancing loan book. So we can say in terms of weight, Manappuram is managing around 60 tons of gold. So as I said, companies which are less involved in microfinancing is better option to go with right now. So I am again giving a positive signal for Muthoot here, because it is majorly involved in what gold financing, and its loan book is also very much tilted towards uh, its gold loan. Its overall loan book is also very much tilted towards gold financing. So again I am giving a positive signal, a positive sign here for Muthoot Finance. Now coming to financial performance, here we will see how well the company has performed in last 5 years, and we will see few numbers, important numbers. Now starting with the revenues from financial year 2017 to 2021, Muthoot Finance has grown its revenue at a CAGR rate of 18.18%, and Manappuram Finance has grown it at a rate of 16.94%. So revenue wise, both these companies are looking very much attractive here, because if we people might think that Manappuram is little bit lagging in terms of revenues when compared to Muthoot, but if we compare them with the other companies or other banking institution, then this is very good revenue. A growth of 16.94% is not bad. This is very good revenue. But of course if we compare it with Muthoot, it is little bit lesser. So revenue wise, both these companies are looking attractive here. Now if we talk about net profits from financial year 17 to 21, the net profits have grown in Muthoot Finance at a CAGR rate of 33.36%, and in Manappuram it has grown at a rate of 22.81%. Again, both of these numbers, both of these companies numbers are very good. Anything above 20 is considered to be a good number. But the main thing to notice here is uh, Muthoot Finance is able to generate more net profits, more percentage of more growth in net profits when compared to Manappuram Finance. So this makes a difference here. A 10% difference is a large difference here. So it will again give a upper hand for Muthoot Finance. And the other thing to notice here is, if we see the revenues, Muthoot is only a 2%. Muthoot Finance revenue has grown only 2% higher than, not even 2, 1.5, 1.3% higher than the Manappuram Finance. But when it comes to net profits, Muthoot has managed to grow 10% more than Manappuram Finance. So it shows that Muthoot is able to run its business very efficiently. They're able to bring down their expenses, borrowing cost, and all this stuff. So they are able to make more profits on revenues. So that's why we see a revenue growth of 33%. Yeah, what 33% revenue growth. And also this tells the Muthoot is running its business very efficiently. Now coming to NIMS is nothing but net interest margin. It basically tells us how much money the uh, NBFC is able to save in between the borrowing and lending business. So right now the NIMS of Muthoot is 7.93%, which is again a very good number. In Manappuram, I was not able to get the NIMS. I guess they don't disclose their NIMS. So right now I have only Muthoot Finance NIMS. So 7.93 is not a bad number. So again a good thing, and again positive for Muthoot. Now coming to ROE, that is return on equity. Return on equity basically tells us how much the company was able to make returns in a particular in a particular financial year when compared to the total equity which is being put in the company. ROE of Muthoot is 24.42% and ROE of Manappuram is 23.59%. So both of them are looking very good here. ROA, that is return on asset. It basically tells us how much returns the company made on the total asset which the company is having. So ROA of Muthoot is 5.54% and ROA of Manappuram is 5.50%. So again, both of these companies are looking very good. Now, if we see financial performance of both this company, if we do a comparison, then both these companies are very good in terms of their growth, in terms of their numbers, ROA, both of them are very good. But the main difference here which is making is the net profits. Net profits basically here it is telling that Muthoot is able to run more efficiently its business. So I am giving a positive signal for Muthoot here. So Muthoot is again having the upper hand in this segment in financial performance. Now coming to stock valuation, the current price of the stocks is the current price of Muthoot Finance stock is 1473 rupees and Manappuram it is 170 rupees. Book value per share of Muthoot is 392 and book value of Manappuram is 87 rupees. Market cap of Muthoot is 59,000 crores and for Manappuram it is almost 14,400 crores. Uh, okay. P ratio, that is price to earning ratio of Muthoot is 15 and Manappuram it is 8, which means that now if we see the book value and P ratio, of course Manappuram is looking very cheap here and it is looking attractive because its P ratios are less, its book value per share is also very less. So right now Manappuram Finance is very much cheaper. Manappuram stocks are trading at a very cheap rate when compared to Muthoot Finance. So I am giving a positive sign for what Manappuram in this section, that is in stock valuation. Now coming to shareholding pattern, in Muthoot Finance around 73.4% is held by promoters, 15% of shares are held by FIS, 7.73 by DIS and 3.86%, only 3.86% is held by public. So this is a very good pattern if we see if we compare with all what good companies, because Wherever I personally prefer companies which are in which the public holding is very less, because what that means is if public is having less holding, then it means that the supply of shares in the market is very less, which automatically tells us the demand will be going up. If the supply of stocks in the market, if the float in the market is very less, the demand will automatically go up. So Muthoot is having only in Muthoot only 3.86% is held by public. This is a very good sign. Now coming to Manappuram, in Manappuram 34.99% is held by promoters, 35 by FIS, 10.98 by DIS, and around 18.16% by public. So public is holding a larger chunk here when compared to Muthoot Finance. So here again Muthoot is again having a upper hand in this shareholding pattern. So again I am giving a positive, again Muthoot is giving a positive signal here. Now coming to concerns, now I'll not be talking about the concerns of a particular company. I'll talk about the overall business. As I said earlier, the headroom for for both these companies in the other parts of countries, that is northeast and west, is very less, because we see that people investing in gold in other parts of countries except south is very less. So that's why they will be getting very less headroom in terms of expansion throughout the country. Number one thing. And second thing is, we see that both of these NBFCs are already having a very large amount of branches in south. So there is very less amount of headroom left in the south right now, because they have I believe that both of them are having around 1000 to not 1000, around 2000 to 2500 branches in the south itself. So which tells us they get very less headroom, and they are reaching at a saturation level right now in the south. So the only way they can expand from here on is to get into any new segments, or to expand its business to other parts of the country. But expanding it to the other parts of the country would be not good for both of these right now, because gold is very much what concentrated towards south. So that's why this is again a concern over here. The second major concern is the banks. Right now banks are also jumping into gold financing business. They are also attracting the customers by giving very less interest, by charging very less interest rate. So banks are giving a tough competition for both of these NBFCs. So again this is also a concern right now. Okay. Uh, Now coming to my personal opinion, Muthoot, Muthoot and Manappuram, as we saw all these numbers and their growth, both of them are very good companies right now. In terms of their performance, if you see, in terms of their establishment, or in terms of how well they are managed, both of them are what a well-run and a well-established companies. They both are having a good track record in terms of financial performance, and they both are showing a steady growth in terms of, it might be in terms of revenues, or it might be in terms of AUMs. So both of them are showing a steady growth. But I am more bullish on I am more attracted towards Muthoot when compared to Manappuram. The reason for this is Muthoot has managed to bring efficiency in its business. It has understood that after a certain point where it can't grow the business, the only way it can grow its figures is by increasing the efficiency. I believe that they are bringing down their expenses, they are bringing down their borrowing costs, so that's why they are able to what take up their net profit growth. So this tells us that Muthoot is able to increase its efficiency when compared to Manappuram Finance. So this what gives a sense to me to go with the companies which are going in the right track. So I believe Muthoot is right now going in the right track. It's not that Manappuram is going in the wrong track, but no, Manappuram has not managed to bring efficiency which Muthoot has bought. So if we do a comparative analysis, if we do a comparison, then of course Muthoot is having the upper hand. So I'm bullish on Muthoot. And if as we saw that Manappuram valuation right now is very cheap, so unlocking or a re-rating of this company can happen in coming few months or the year. So for people who are a kind of a risk taker, can of course go with Manappuram Finance, but for people who love playing safe with the stocks, so Manappuram would be the best option according to me. And the other main thing which I came across in the recent reports was Muthu in Manappuram Finance, gold auctioning is happening very rapidly. In the last quarter, Manappuram Finance went very large with the gold auctioning, which tells us that Manappuram Finance analysis on borrower's profile while issuing the loan is is little bit little bit not good when compared to Muthoot Finance. So that's why we see that more of a gold auctioning happening in Manappuram and not in Muthoot Finance. So their analysis on borrower's profile is not so good. So it can be understood. So that is not the main reason, but that is also certainly that certainly shows that something bad is happening in the company right now. So this is my personal opinion, guys. Now, as I said, Muthoot, I'm preferring Muthoot over Manappuram, and I'm picking this stock. So from today on, I'll be putting this into my portfolio, and I'll be tracking this stock. So let me move on to my what portfolio. Okay. So this is my portfolio. So I have added here Muthoot. So from today on, I would be tracking the Muthoot Finance in my portfolio. So what for people who don't know what this portfolio is? So in this portfolio, I'll be tracking all those stocks which I have recommended, a kind of a picked or recommended in my previous videos. So whenever I find any stocks are very good, so I would be picking them and I would start uh, tracking them. So basically it's a kind of a self what it's a kind where I'll be tracking myself how well my companies which I have what recommended are performing right now. So it gives me a it tells me whether I am going in the correct path or no, and also it gives a picture on how well my stocks are performing. So with that purpose, this portfolio is made. Now you can see that there are two sections, a safe player and a risk taker section. So safe player section contains the stocks which whose market cap are little bit larger when compared to risk taker stocks, and also a less volatility is seen in safe player stocks, and in risk taker the stocks show a little bit more volatility. And now but this does not mean that the risk taker stocks are very bad. These are also very good, and I have personally picked these stocks. I have personally recommended this stocks. These are my personal recommendation. Now if you guys are very much interested to what know more about the portfolio, in month end every month end I'll be coming up with a video where I'll be speaking about all the companies which are in my portfolio, how they have performed, uh, what is the outcome in this month, and what are the outlooks in the coming months. I'll be talking about all this portfolio companies in my month end video. So last month, that is July month's portfolio video is already published on YouTube, so you can check out that. This month it would be coming on August 31st. So having said that, I take off. That's all for the day, guys. I take off for now. I hope this was an informative video. I believe that it gave you a larger sense on how the gold companies are, how the gold NBFCs are run, and uh, how the Muthoot and Manappuram companies are performing right now. I believe this will give you what a basic knowledge on which stock to more analyze, which stock to analyze more. So this video should not be the only source for you to go and invest in the market. This is of course will be a it will of course be an informative source, but it should not be the only source. After this you should do your own analysis, you should do research, and then you should make a proper decision. Having said that, I thank you for watching. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.